All right, cornerback position. We'll go to Matthew for the day one best fit at cornerback.
So this, I guess, might be a little bit of a sleeper for a day one corner, right? Because I don't see him in a lot of round one mocks anymore. He was in the middle of the season, and then something kind of happened, and I'm not entirely sure what. But Cam Smith, a cornerback out of South Carolina, 6 foot, 187 pounds. Maybe that's part of it. He's not as big as some of the other guys. Quality length, good athlete. Like, he kind of checked all the boxes, but I don't think that he stood out more so than, I guess, a lot of these other guys working out in shorts and a t-shirt. But man, you walk this back into the tape and like, he's really good. And what I think about Cam Smith that kind of separates him from a lot of these other guys, he's not specific to one type of coverage. He's not just a man-to-man cover guy that has to play press technique. He's not just a zone coverage guy that wants to fly up and hit people. He has the ability and the IQ to play boundary and in the slot. He played in the slot against Jalen Hyatt. When Jalen Hyatt was torching everybody, South Carolina did put him in the slot. He played like 15 yards off every play, but they trusted him one-on-one against Jalen Hyatt while he was torching at all of college football out of the slot. He played on the boundary versus Cedric Tillman in the red zone. Like, he played all over the place. He plays man, he plays zone. I kind of think he checks all of the boxes the Chiefs would be looking for. He's got an issue with penalties. He gets a little too grabby. He likes to grab, especially at the catch point. He arrives early a lot, just trying to be overly physical. He grabs at the top of his routes. These are things that I don't think scare the Chiefs off, though. Looking at corners they've taken in the past, or the guys that they've had on this team, I don't think they're overly concerned about corners that draw penalties. So, like, I think he fits a lot of what the Chiefs would like out of the position. And actually, I had a late first round grade on him. The other people, when they secondary graded him, bumped him out to just outside the first round. So he's like a super early second round grade in the KCSN draft guide, but I believe the 15th overall player, right around there. So like, we have him as a first round pick going down the board. I had him right there. And I just think out of all the guys in the first round, he probably best fits what the Chiefs like to do out of that position.
Yeah, he's definitely getting more day two love out there in public, but I'm glad you kind of brought him up because look, I mean, this is a guy that we have in the top 20 in the KCSN draft guide. We think pretty highly of him. I mean, we'll see. But that's I'm glad you brought him up. Day two, EMA. Julius Brents, cornerback out of Kansas State. He's might be my favorite prospect out of K-State this year. I mean, I don't think he's gonna be the highest graded, but like he's such a unique profile, and he's absolutely crushed the pre-draft process. I think he's helped himself immensely, tested extremely well. At the NFL Combine, but this is just an absolutely ginormous, supersized corner, like 34-inch arms, big, physical. It's 6'3", 198, 34-inch arms. Like, that's ridiculous. Ran a 4.5 340, which is pretty good for a guy his size. He is a little stiff, so I think a team, I'm not going to compare him to Tariq Woolen, but Tariq Woolen's thriving in Seattle. They plan more on a vertical plane. I think Julius Brents is a guy you want to kind of play more on a vertical plane. A good zone corner, great length to disrupt at the line of scrimmage. I think he can play. Like, he can play in cover two more than capably because he's got that length to disrupt there to sink underneath stuff if they want him. Continue to play on that vertical plane. Give me Julius Brents day two. He might be gone before the Chiefs pick at 63, though. Like, there's a very realistic scenario where that happens.
I mean, yeah, that's what happens with big athletic cornerbacks. And the NFL last year did the thing that they do every once in a while where they look at the athletic testing and all of that, and they go, you know what? Yeah, that dude has a lot of stuff that he needs to work on. We're not going to take the gamble. We're going to take the guy with a little bit better film that's not a good athlete. And guess what happens? Those good athletes end up being really good football players almost immediately. Tariq Woolen, Julius Brents, you know what they have in common, Kent? Can you tell me?
They're long?
They're tier one CBAC guys.
You should have asked me.
I should have asked you, Maddie, because Kent was not paying attention to me. I'm certain of that.
You were talking about defense. Of course he wasn't.
My guy that I'm going with as a day three pick that would be an ideal fit for the Kansas City Chiefs is also a tier one CBAT guy, Jacorian Bennett out of Maryland. Maybe a guy that kind of snuck up a little bit on the process because he popped at the NFL Combine, ended up being a truly elite tester, has the length, just under 32-inch arms, runs a 4.3 40, But the way that you look at him when you turn on the film, he defends the run aggressively. He is not scared to step up and try and defend the run, and he is not afraid to contend at the catch point. Now, doesn't have a ton of interceptions. Not a guy that's going to bring the ball down very often, but does a good job being very physical at the catch point, contending there on the boundary. That's what Steve Spagnuolo wants his guys to do. He wants to be able to put them a little bit on the island, give them just a little bit of safety help when they need it against certain receivers, and force a quarterback to try and throw a challenging throw into a long defender that potentially has some explosion and can contend at the catch point. That's what he did with L'Jarius Sneed. It's what he's done throughout his career in Kansas City. Charvarius Ward was kind of a similar guy. That's exactly what he wants to do. Jacorian Bennett as a day 3 guy to round out this room is an absolute steal, and you got to bet on that athletic profile.
Thanks for watching this production of KC Sports Network, the fastest growing sports media network in Kansas City. Check out these videos that feature our team of more than 15 former players, insiders, and analysts bringing you the best Chiefs coverage you can find. Entertain, educate, inform. KC Sports Network.